Hello everyone, it is me, Mary, and I am here today with an amazing video for you. Hopefully it will be great. Okay guys, so I am bringing you a different type of video today. I've had a lot of people ask me about makeup, how I get makeup, what I do with my makeup, XYZ, so I thought that I would bring that to you. I am not a beauty vlogger, nor do I ever intend to be, but I do love to get makeup and different things that make me feel good about myself, and I like to get them on a budget. So I decided that it would be very nice to bring that to you so you can see some of the tips that I do and the products that I use and how I obtain them very inexpensively. Okay, so that is basically what this is going to be today. The products that I've received, I paid for myself. They were not given to me. I'm not doing any paid reviews. It is just my products that I have purchased. And some of them I did pay for, others I got for free, but hey, it is what it is. So I'm going to show you a few things that I'm going to be using today, and what this video is going to be about is going to be cream highlighting, okay? Highlighting is something that's very important. Highlighting and contouring, excuse me. I think the most important to me is contouring. I think it is absolutely essential when you're doing your makeup. I have done no contouring today. Basically, my face, I have on eye makeup, some lipstick that I got for free with couponing. Very nice here. 825 Blackest Berry. This is Maybelline, absolutely free there from Target. Thank you. So that is pretty much what I have on right now. I have on a little bit of foundation, but when you're doing a creme, however French we want to get today, a cream contour or any type of cream kits, you do not want to use any powder on your face, okay? That is very important that you do not use powder. And I like the cream better simply because I tend to have a little bit of drier skin, and when you have dry skin, the powder can just really kind of bunch up. It can start to flake, and through the day it just really doesn't look as nice, in my personal opinion. Everybody does their own thing, and I think it's very beautiful, but I think for long wear, this works a lot better for me. Now, I've never used this product. This is really scary because it's very dark. So I don't know how this is going to work, but I got it really cheap, so we just going to try it out today. But anyways, as I said, so the cream, another good point about cream is it is very, very forgiving. If you have on a full face of makeup, so you've done anything you can do as far as your routine, and now you're going to a contour at this point, and you have on full powdered makeup. Now you go on to put on makeup on top of that, and it is a powder contour. You are going to have a hard time if you mess up, okay guys? With the cream though, you really have a lot of play. So what you can do is you can almost move it around. You can take away with a little bit more liquid foundation. So you have a lot more forgiveness, I guess you would say, in the makeup that you're utilizing. So that is a big thing for me in doing makeup. I am not a professional. I do my own makeup. The only formal training I've ever had is working on the deceased, doing post-mortem cosmetology, okay? So whenever you are working in a funeral home and you're working on the deceased, however you want a very natural look, or you want to sort of mimic the person as they were in life, as their family wants them to be remembered. So it's a little bit different than doing makeup in this format, so bear with me. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at the products that I got. I'm going to tell you where I got them, where I typically get products to be very, very cheap, and how we can look the way that we want to look, feel the way we want to feel, and not break the bank. So you can absolutely do a full face on less than $10. A lot of people would think that is crazy. However, we know if you coupon, you can get some very nice quality products like Physicians Formula. That is a pretty good product, okay? And we can get that for free all the time at CVS. Revlon is really coming out with a lot more as pertains to a lot of makeup that has more of a staying powder, a lot of your matte finish. They have so much stuff now with Revlon coming out. L'Oreal is doing really good with contouring kits. So there's a lot of different things that we can do to achieve the looks that we want to. In addition to that, you may not know this, but Ulta takes manufacturer coupons, and you also have that 3 off of a $10 coupon that comes out from time to time. So that is a great way to capitalize on makeup that you can get at Ulta, and it's typically going to be more so drugstore makeup, so the same type of products that you would be getting. However, you can find them there as well. And lastly, something I do for brushes, as I typically get all of my brushes at Kohl's, and what happens is Kohl's, they end up having, you know, the coupon, the $10 coupon. If you spend $10, you receive $10 off, so it's a $10 coupon. And so I get a lot of these types of brushes here, the Real Techniques. I have amassed a nice amount of them, and they're all free. So this is a $20 brush set, and it was marked down 60% off. It was $8. I had a $10 coupon. I just filled it up to get to 10 with another item, so I got my brushes for free, and I haven't used these yet. I wanted to use them for this video. So another thing that I would like to say to, you know, save some money is like beauty blenders here. These right here are an essential when you're contouring, and even with foundation, sometimes they're a great thing to have. And I got this right here at Burlington Coat Factory for $1.99, which is a great steal. Another product that I'm going to be using, which is a dark product, so this is going to be fun. Okay, but this is Beauty Treats, and this right here I ended up getting from Burlington Coat Factory as well for $1.99. Another tip where you can get a lot of great makeup is TJ Maxx, and make sure you get it on clearance. So those are a lot of places where you can get some great products for great prices. I'm going to pause, open everything, dampen my blender, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, be right back. Okay, I am back. I had to dampen this right here. It is essential that this is damp. You don't want it to be dry because you don't want it to take away a lot more than you want it to. Okay, guys, my cats are going crazy. Okay, and what else did I do? I opened this brush right here. This is a very large brush. When I'm looking at this, I'm more so thinking about the apples of my cheeks here. This is what I'm thinking of when I'm looking at this big brush. Now, this one right here, it says it is a sculpting and contouring brush. This would not normally be what I would use to sculpt and contour with. However, for the purpose of this video, I am showing you that because I got that for free. So here's this one. This one right here is a lip brush. I don't know. I don't really use lip brushes. When I have something this small, I'm thinking about the tear ducts right here, the inside corners of my eyes. I'm also thinking of potentially coming in to contour my nose, which I have not done right now. So I'm thinking of something more along the lines of that with this particular brush. Now I do have 2 other brushes just to show, or 3 brushes to show that I really like to use when you're getting into contouring. Something that I want to show you, and this was another brush that I did get for free at Kohl's. This is a foundation brush, and as you can see here, it has this really nice tapered angle here. And what I like to do with this is when I get in here, this is where you're going to be able to get your foundation in very, very nicely to not have to worry about the creases that are in underneath your eye. You can absolutely get in there very, very nice. Now, something else that you could do with this brush is just using your highlighting. So say that you're wanting to go in and bring in a lot of white under your eyes, or you're wanting to just go at maybe 2 shades lighter underneath your eyes. You could absolutely accomplish that very, very nicely with this brush, and it does have a taper, so you can bring it up as high as you would like to go. Now, something that I would like to mention when you're highlighting, and this is not a highlighting kit, this is very, very dark, okay, so we're not doing highlighting, that will be for another video, but something I want you to know when you highlight is that typically when you're highlighting, or when I do, I like to go down to my smile line. So I do very, very deep highlighting. And then I go up, right up in this crease here from my eye. So that is how dramatic my highlighting is. So I literally bring a triangle down here, and I do all of that in highlighting. Now, I think that I can accomplish this for myself, and the reason why I would go up that high in my eyes is because my face is not very round. It is somewhat, but as you can see, it kind of contours in right here. If you have a face that is really, really round, what you're not wanting to do do is accentuate that even further, okay? We're going to actually sculpt in that area. So what you would want to do, instead of pulling up to here, because I almost go up to my hairline when I highlight, you want to keep it right about to your eyes, okay? So you're going to want to highlight down in this way to the smile line, up under your eyes to about the side of your eye, and that's really all you're going to want to do. The more far out you're going with the highlighting, it's going to be a more prominent view right here in this area. And if your face is wider here, if you're not comfortable with that, it's going to put a heightened emphasis on that area. It's going to draw a lot of attention. So that may not be something that you want to do. Now, I want to give you another tip as well when you're looking at starting to contour. Okay, now contouring, when we're thinking about where we're going to start our contour. So I'm going to start my contour literally. I am going to look at my ear here, and I'm going to consider going straight like this. I'm going to go all the way down. Now, as we see, the brush goes to my lip. You don't want to go all the way down to the lip, or you're going to be looking like you're going to be at a drag show. Now, these drag queens do some hot makeup, so I'm not saying nothing bad, because those girls right there got it popping. But for an everyday look, you may not want it to be that sculpted, okay? So what I typically say is I start right there, and then I look down to about where my nose is. And that's where I'm going to stop. So you almost want to think of it as an X. So I will come right down to about right here, and I'll do a pretty nice sculpt there. And the reason why I'm doing a straight line is because if you can see, I have very nice appley cheeks, okay? So you can see this. Now, a lot of people, especially if you have more so of a square shaped face, you're going to have a problem because you may not have the prominent cheekbones there. If you don't have the prominent cheekbones, you need to create an illusion of prominent cheekbones, okay? So how do we accomplish this? As opposed to doing a straight line, you're going to almost want to cup that line just a little bit. And the reason you're going to want to cup that is because you're going to want to create that illusion of that cheek right there, okay guys? So this contouring really depends drastically on the size of your cheeks, the actual shape of your face, how deep you want the contour to be. A lot of different factors. Something else, y'all already know this, I got a big old forehead, okay? I don't like my forehead. It is huge, all right? So basically, what do I want to do? If I pull a bunch of white right here, just like we just talked about with the white with the rounder face, if I pull a bunch of white, you're going to see that very prominent, and we do not want to do that. So what is contouring and sculpting? It is sort of bringing shadows to certain areas to create an optical illusion. So what we're wanting to do is make this forehead look a lot smaller, okay? We're going to want to bring some light right here, but we're going to want the overall forehead and the hairline to look smaller. And that's going to bring more so the actual focal point right into the part of my face, which is my T-zone. That is what I want everybody to see. In addition to that, I also have a little bit of an issue here because this is a lot more rounded for me. This right here can make you look a lot heavier than you are. If you are heavy or if you're not heavy, it is what it is. Everybody has their own personal preference. As for me, I like to minimize this appearance. So how do we do that? Once again, with shadowing or contouring. So we would end up needing to cut this off to create an illusion that this ends here, okay guys? So if we were doing a highlighting and contouring video, I would then go ahead and start to bring in some of the white in the areas that I want it to go. And like I said, you can go 2 shades lighter or you can go solid white. And if you will see a lot of your videos, and you'll find videos of people who do drag, because that is amazing makeup, if you will ever see that, you'll see a lot more white because it just brings out those feminine qualities of the bone structure of the face, okay? So they're really taking the makeup and actually working and molding the face. So that is an ultimate goal, is to really bring the feminine look that you want to have and the sculpted look that you're comfortable with, however it is that you feel that you want to look, okay? That's all that makeup is, what makes you feel good about yourself. There is no right or wrong. So here we go with this particular palette. As you can see, this is very dark. This right here is an extremely dark color. I did not pick this out. I would have never picked this out, okay? It's too dark. However, it was given to me, and I'm absolutely going to use it. My daughter actually picked it out and spent my money on it, so I'm going to use it. In addition to that, we have a color that's a little bit more yellow, orange yellow. That's not going to be the best color for my skin either. What I do have here is a very deep beige color. Now, the thing that I want you to know about this is if you're very fair complected, as am I, whenever you have a deep chocolate rich tone, you're not going to have that pull on your complexion in a positive way. If you have something that has a green to it or a gray, that's going to be probably the best bet you're going to have if you're very fair complected. And you're probably thinking green, gray, that's not good. Absolutely it is good if you're very fair, okay? So whenever you want to do a new, if you're just starting to contouring or highlighting, if you want to be safe, you can go 2 shades higher and 2 shades lower. So if you want to bring a high color, 2 shades lighter than your natural color, or 2 shades deeper than your natural color. So those are great ways to start. So if we're looking here, what would be the thing that I'm going to start doing? So I'm going to go ahead, and this brush right here is synthetic. Synthetic brushes are really good when you're dealing with cream or you're dealing with liquid, okay? I like other brushes as well, but I think synthetic works very well with these types of products. So if we have, and I'm going to show you 2 different variations here. I'm going to use a color that I would never use on one side, and then I'll use the color that I would be more so my preference on the other side, just to give you a different look there. This is such a deep color, guys. This is going to look absolutely ridiculous. So as we mentioned earlier, we're going to look right up almost at the hairline, and we're going to draw this straight line going down. So I'm going to go right about where my actual nose is here, and we're looking at this line. Now, I do not have to do any cupping, okay? If you can see already, when we're having this deep coloration, we can already see it's kind of concaving in. So what do we do now? It's pretty much like if you're going to be doing eyeshadow. You're going to pretty much go in and out and continue to move. And this is the good thing. We're going to do some circles here. This is the great thing about cream as opposed to actually using a powder. If you're using a powder, the problem is that you're not going to be able to move it as much as you would an actual cream. So we're just going to keep blending and blending. Now you can actually stop and say, I want it to be this dark and this dramatic. And that would be fine. As we see here, we're already seeing this goes in so much deeper. You can see that this side of the face looks a lot chunkier than this side of the face. However, it is too dark, and we knew that starting into this video that this would be absolutely too dark. You can continue to work it. If you ever buy a color that absolutely happens to be way too dark for your skin, you can go with a little bit of your foundation and bring it out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to ever so slightly blend it down, and I'm going to do the same, just very slight blend it up into my cheekbone. So I think that at this point, this actually has a pretty good look to it. Hi, kitty. Has a pretty good look to it. If you can see the differences in the side, this absolutely looks a lot bigger than this does. There is a little bit too dark though. However, I think it does have a pretty nice color to it. Now, where else are we going to go with this? Now, the next thing that we're going to do is obviously going to be at the bottom. Now, something I want you to understand is we're doing this ever so lightly. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. That's as dark as we're going to go with that. And what are we going to do? Once again, we're going to start. I'm going to go right under the ear, and I'm going to continue to blend out. Once again, this is a very, very dark color, but you can always work out dark colors as well because it gives more of an opportunity for shadowing, okay? So we're just going to go ahead now, make this a little bit quicker, get in here. The point is we're definitely wanting to create an illusion and a shadow. I'm going to bring it down a little bit on my neck, And the reason you want to do that is you want to bring that shadow down in the neck to kind of hide So there is a big difference between the two. This is even starting to look a lot deeper in, and this absolutely is drawn in. If we had a lighter color, I would be coming in underneath with a lighter color. So what is the next thing I'm going to do? My forehead is huge, okay guys? So what am I going to do about it? I am going to go in, and sometimes people like to do the whole corner here. I really don't. What I like to do is I need to come up in my here into my forehead, and you can come down as much as you want right in this area. Don't be afraid to go to the actual hairline. The lighting isn't perfect, guys. I'm sorry. So you're going to come up as much as you can and as low as you feel comfortable with. Now, as you can see, I'm doing pretty deep into this area. I don't know if you can see. I'm sorry if you can't. But I'm going to go pretty deep down right here. And then I'm going to follow with a line right here. Now, I'm not going to go all the way deep down into my forehead with this particular part, okay? And the reason I'm not is because I would follow up with a highlight right down in the middle. So what I'm going to do, as I mentioned, is do right up here into the hairline, down going to the brow, pulling out, and right at this line. What I would end up doing at this point would be I would go ahead and consider my T-line, and I would bring in a lightener right in this area. And the reason that I would do that would to be go ahead and bring more attention just right here, centralized it. So I have brought this down. I could do it more dramatic. You can't see it very much, and I don't want to just make my face really, really dark. However, what we have done at this point is we've tried to bring it down. It's not as dramatic of an effect unless you have the white right here. So what would we do if we did the other side with a different color, if we did the lighter color? We would go, now let me tell you something before I go into the lighter color here. What I want you to know is I nose contour, okay? So I'm going to use this dark color, which I'm going to regret very much so, on a slanted brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an illusion that my nose is smaller than it is. Now the problem is that I have broken my nose a few months ago. And if you have seen me in videos beforehand, you would know that I did. So what am I doing? As you can see right now, I'm already creating a line going up into my eye. And then I'm going to go straight down here to my nose. Some people like to go in on the sides as well to give it more of a dramatic effect, but I don't feel that I need to. What I need to do though is come up in my eye, straighten out the line on my nose, and then I will go ahead with the other side. I am back. If you've been with me a while, you know the problems I have with my battery dying. So what I ended up doing during that time was I just went ahead and I followed through with the line on the other side. It was a little bit too light, so I decided to go ahead and bring in the darker color. I did bring in darker color lower below. However, with it being so dark, and this is something you need to understand, you can only blend so much. So with a color that's this dark, if I ended up leaving a very heavy line, there would be a very clear distinction between the color of my face and the color of my neck. The last thing I want to do is that. So I went ahead and blended it out as much as I could with the Beauty Blender, so you don't see a dramatic effect here on the actual jawline, okay? You do see a very dramatic, or at least I do, notice that there is more of an emphasis placed here as opposed to all of this up here. I do also know with my nose that just with using the contour, not any highlight at all, just the lower color, there is a very prominent line with my nose as to where before it set a little bit chunkier because it has been broken, I have now created an illusion of a straight nose. I have also pulled up into my eyes because I think that that opens me up a lot when I pull into my eyes. So those are some tips that I have. I think for spending less than $5, I'm very happy on this, for this right here. The only thing I paid for was this and the actual blender. The blender is going to last me for a very long time as long as you clean it properly. I think that this is okay. It's not as good as some of the others that I've used. However, I can't really base this in comparison to other times that I do makeup, because if I were doing full makeup, I would have blush and I would have the highlight and I would have a lot more going into it than just purely doing some contouring and sculpting of the face. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you can see that even $5 or less, you can do things to feel very nice about yourself. And, you know, if it's not perfect to everybody, it doesn't have to be. As long as you're happy with how you look and you are very, very, I don't know, as long as you're satisfied, that is what matters. And I don't know if you can notice or not, but even with the sculpting, when I speak, you can absolutely see the cheeks. They're a lot more prominent than they were before. So it's a very big difference here. So if you like to have your cheeks outlined and you like that sculpted look, absolutely give this a try. Thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye guys.